All right, folks, we've got some very unfortunate news here. We've got more escalation in this conflict that is going on. Iran has now attacked two military sites in Iraq in which there were U.S. troops stationed. Now, of course, the United States just killed Qassem Soleimani, who was a top military commander in general of Iran. He was a hero of Iran. He was idolized. He was an idol in Iran. And we took him out. Donald Trump took him out, mostly because of Mike Pompeo's influence. So it says, Iran has fired multiple missiles at two U.S. military targets in Iraq in retaliation for President Donald Trump's decision last week to kill Qassem Soleimani, the leader of Iran's most elite military and intelligence force. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, a part of Iran's military in which Soleimani was a leading figure, claimed responsibility for the attack, and top-level Iranian officials are already boasting about the strikes. For days, Iranian leaders signaled that they would strike U.S. military targets in response to Soleimani's killing. Now, the spokesperson for U.S. Central Command told me that Iran fired 15 missiles, 10 struck Al-Asad airbase west of Baghdad, Iraq, 1 struck Erbil in northern Iraq, and 4 failed. The LA Times reports that the U.S. was able to track the launches with radar, giving personnel time to take cover. A White House official told me that there were no American casualties, which tracks with multiple other reports using unnamed sources, saying that there were no U.S. casualties from the strikes. There are still unconfirmed reports saying Iraqis may have died. So, looks like there's an hour-long Situation Room meeting with the president. So this is interesting. It's important to note that Iran doesn't have missiles that can reach the U.S. mainland from Iran, nor does it have a nuclear weapon. What's going on here is they have now retaliated, and knowing the hawkishness now of Donald Trump, because that strike that killed Soleimani wasn't even the only one that they did. They did a couple more after that. And so they're trying to goad them into responding, basically, so that they'll have a reason to continue further. Now, this was largely sort of, in terms of what it actually did, fairly insignificant. I would like to say that, the fact that the way they say it is like, we can confirm the Pentagon saying that, we don't have it. There's no U.S. casualties, I find to be an interesting way to put it. And if I'm, someone who's in Iraq, I would look at that sideways. Like, interesting. I don't really seem to care very much about Iraqis dead. We don't know if there are any Iraqis dead. We don't know how many, if so. So it's kind of up in the air sort of thing right now. But this is very scary. This is another escalation. And based on the track record of, Mike Pompeo's a big war hawk guy who's, from the report that I read, he spent a lot of time lobbying Donald Trump to kill Qassem Soleimani. So it looks like this is not going to be a good situation. So what is the U.S. going to do in response to this? They'll probably do another strike, just like they did, killing Qassem. So this is really scary, very unfortunate. We need to de-escalate this immediately. This needs to stop. We cannot afford to have another endless war in which there's no real means of victory and way of getting out. And going to war with Iran would strengthen ISIS a lot. Obviously, Iran's an enemy of ISIS. They fought ISIS very hard. So it would also strengthen ISIS, and it would destabilize the region further. So we do not want to do that. We should pull our troops out of Iraq, and we should pull them out of Afghanistan, and we should start to get out of these quagmires, essentially. There was just that parliamentary vote in Iraq in which they basically drafted a resolution that they passed, the parliament did, basically telling U.S. soldiers to get out of the country. So, time to pull out, time to get them out, and I really, really am hopeful that this escalation does not continue any further.